Ladies and gentlemen, Trump's new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, just held her first official White House press conference, and I think it's fair to say she just got done absolutely cooking the liberal media. So with today's video, what I want to do is go through all of her debut highlights and really break stuff down with you guys. So without further delay, let's get right into it. Take a look at how she immediately took control of the room and set the standard for how these press briefings are going to operate.
And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people, and that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out, while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
You hear that? No messing around, no funny business, and no lies. Just clear, concise, and true information about what's really going on behind the scenes. That's what we can all expect. And I have to say, what a breath of fresh air that is. Remember our last press secretary? With her, it was just lie after lie after lie, and we never actually got any real information. Thank God she's gone. Now, take a look at what Mrs. Leavitt had to say about Trump's breakneck pace so far.
That President Trump has taken, obviously, a stark contrast to the previous administration of breakneck speed from President Trump. Can we expect that pace to continue as the first 100 days moves along here and beyond that?
Absolutely. There's no doubt President Trump has always been the hardest working man in politics. I think that's been proven over the past week. This president has again signed more than 300 executive orders. He's taken historic action. I gaggled aboard Air Force One to mark the first 100 days of this administration, 4 p.m. last Friday, or first 100 hours rather. And this president did more in the first 100 hours than the previous president did in the first 100 days. So President Trump, I think you can all expect for him to continue to work at this breakneck speed, so I hope you're all ready to work very hard. I know that we are.
Trump didn't become president to sit on his butt all day doing nothing. He ran for president so that he could make the country great again, and guess what? That's exactly what he's doing. And now, I do want to say real quick, guys, if you want to help me make this channel great, the best way to do so is by subscribing. It really does help a lot. But okay, so this is where today's video starts to get really good, because now we get to hear about Donald Trump's ongoing mass deportations.
And this president will not tolerate illegal immigration into America's interior. And he expects every nation on this planet, again, to cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens who illegally entered into our country and broke America's laws. Won't be tolerated. And as you saw, the Colombian government quickly folded and agreed to all of President Trump's demands. Flights are underway once again.
You hear that? So the message is loud and clear. When we deport illegal immigrants, their home country needs to accept them back, or there will be severe punishments, just like we already saw with Colombia. Now, I have a feeling you guys are going to absolutely love this next clip. This is probably the biggest bombshell of the day. Take a look at this.
Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
If you are an illegal immigrant, you are a criminal and you will be deported. Period. That is the official stance of this Trump administration, and boy, is that nice to hear. You would think that this would be common sense, but as we've all seen over the last 4 years, the Democrats don't have common sense at all. They're totally comfortable with the country being overrun with illegal immigrants, but guess what? Patriots are back in control of the country, and we're not putting up with this anymore. Although, of course, there had to be just one member of the liberal media in the audience that wasn't happy with the news. Well, guess what? Mrs. Leavitt absolutely destroyed him. Take a look.
NBC News has learned that ICE arrested 1,179 undocumented immigrants on Sunday, but nearly half of them, 566 of the migrants, appear to have no prior criminal record besides entering the country illegally. Is the president still focused exclusively, which is a civil crime, not a it's not criminal.
It's a federal crime.
So I'm asking, though, he said he was going to focus on those violent offenders first. So is violent offenders no longer the predicate for these people to be deported?
The president has said countless times on the campaign trail, I've been with him at the rallies, I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore, you are subject to deportation.
I apologize for interrupting. So to be clear, it's not violent criminals do not receive precedence in terms of the deportations taking place.
The president has also said two things can be true at the same time. We want to deport illegal criminals, illegal immigrants from this country, but the president has said that, of course, the illegal criminal drug dealers, the rapists, the murderers, the individuals who have committed heinous acts on the interior of our country and who have terrorized law-abiding American citizens, absolutely, those should be the priority of ICE, but that doesn't mean that the other illegal criminals who entered our nation's borders are off the table.
There you have it. Once again, the message could not be louder or clearer. If you are an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, it's only a matter of time before you are found, apprehended, and deported. I have to say, guys, it is so nice to know that this is the direction in which the country is going again. It feels like we actually have the country back. Seriously, it's almost like the last 4 years of the Biden administration were some sort of hazy nightmare in which literally every single wrong decision was made. Now, real quick, I want to show you guys something. Take a look at this clip from one of the members of the press that was in the audience.
Karoline Leavitt, the new White House press secretary, just did her first ever briefing from the podium, and a couple notable changes. She didn't have a binder with her, and yet was able to answer all of our questions on a range of topics. And she also called on everyone in these rows by name. So she really did her homework in terms of figuring out who it is that covers the White House.
You know what all of that means? It means that Mrs. Leavitt, our new press secretary, actually has a brain inside of her skull. It means that she's actually able to think on her feet. She doesn't need a bunch of pre-prepared talking points. She actually knows what's going on inside of the White House. You would think that this would be a bare minimum for the job, but as we all just got done seeing with our last press secretary, I guess that's not the case. I have a personal theory that the Biden administration just picked the most incompetent, unqualified person for press secretary just to say screw you to the American people on a daily basis. But hey, who knows? But anyway, so now not only do we have to pick up the pieces and clean up the mess of the last 4 years, but we also have to build a new future for the country as well. Although, that being said, I have to say, if this first press conference is anything to go off of, I'd say the future is looking pretty bright. But hey, I want to know what you guys have to say, so please go down below and drop a comment. Please like the video if you liked it. Please consider subscribing if you like the channel. It really does help a lot. Thank you guys very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.